Hello everyone, hope you are doing great. I am Arjun Chaudhary and I welcome you all to this channel India Insights. Today we are exploring one of the most critical elements of our Indian Constitution, the fundamental rights. These rights were enshrined in Part 3 of the Indian Constitution to uphold the justice, equality and individual freedom, and these fundamental rights are considered essential to maintain the democratic values of our country. The fundamental rights in India draw inspiration from the historical documents like the Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights in England, and the US Bill of Rights. When the framers of the Indian Constitution began drafting these rights, they aimed to ensure that every citizen would enjoy specific protections against arbitrary actions by the state. There are six primary categories of fundamental rights in India. They are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to the constitutional remedies. So, let us dive deep into each right, looking at what it covers to understand it in a better manner. Right to equality is covered under Articles 14 to 18 of the Indian Constitution. Now, coming to the Article 14. Article 14 establishes the principle of equality before law and equal protection of the laws within India. This means that no individual is above the law. Every person, regardless of their status, is subject to the same laws. This article promotes the idea of rule of law, where all are treated equally without any special privileges. Laws in India shall be applied equally to all people in similar situation. For an example, if two individuals commit the same offense, they must face the same legal consequences irrespective of the social status, economic background, and their personal connections. Article 15 of the Indian Constitution prohibits the discrimination based on religion, race, caste, gender, or place of birth. This article allows for the special provisions for historically disadvantaged communities like scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. According to this article, public institutions cannot deny a student's admission based on the caste. However, reservations are permissible to promote the social equality. Article 15 reflects India's commitment to eradicating the caste and gender based biases by supporting the affirmative action for the marginalized communities. Now, coming to Article 16. Article 16 of the Indian Constitution guarantees equal opportunities in the matters of public employment under the state. This article is ensuring that no one is denied a position solely based on religion, race, caste, gender, or place of birth. For example, when applying for a government job, candidates are assessed based on the merit, with some positions reserved for the marginalized groups to ensure the fair representation of all the communities. Article 17 of the Indian Constitution eliminates the untouchability in any form, and it is making the practice of untouchability a punishable offense. This article aims to address the very old social stigmas and inequalities. Denying any individual from entering into a public space like a temple based on the caste is illegal under this article. Through this article, the Constitution actively combats the discrimination and promotes the inclusivity in public spaces and services. Now, coming to Article 18. Article 18 of the Constitution prohibits the state from granting titles that could create social distinctions to ensure the equality. However, the military and academic honors are given exemption for this. Titles such as Sir or Dame cannot be awarded by the government in India. This article promotes a classless society, encouraging citizens to earn respect based on the merit rather than the hereditary status. Right to freedom is covered under the Articles 19 to 22 of the Indian Constitution. Now, coming to Article 19. Article 19 of the Constitution guarantees every citizen six fundamental freedoms. They are freedom of speech and expression, freedom to assemble peacefully, freedom to form associations or unions, freedom to move freely within the country, freedom to reside and settle in any part of India, and freedom to practice any profession. These freedoms are essential for personal autonomy and democratic governance. Citizens can voice their opinions on social and political issues. However, some reasonable restrictions are applied in cases where public order, decency, or morality are at risk. Article 20 of the Constitution provides fundamental safeguards to the individuals in criminal proceedings by ensuring the fair treatment under the law. It upholds the principle of justice and protects the citizens from the arbitrary punishment, and it ensures that the legal process respect the human dignity and constitutional rights. Article 20 offers three protections against arbitrary punishments. Number one is no ex post facto laws, which means a person cannot be convicted for an act that was not an offense when it was committed, even if a law is later enacted making that act an offense. Number two is no double jeopardy, which means no person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offense more than once. And number three is protection against self incrimination, which means no person accused of any offense shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. Article 21 provides that no person shall be deprived of life or personal liberty except as per the procedure established by the law. Article 21 of the Indian Constitution is a fundamental right that guarantees the protection of life and personal liberty. It is one of the most crucial provisions of the Constitution. Over the time, its interpretation has expanded significantly and it has become a cornerstone for the protection of human rights in India. The Supreme Court has expanded the Article 21 to include the rights like right to privacy, right to education, right to health, right to livelihood, right to shelter, and right to a speedy trial. Article 22 of the Indian Constitution provides protection against arbitrary arrest and detention. It guarantees certain fundamental rights to the individuals who are arrested or detained in the custody, including the right to be informed of the arrest reason and the right to consult a lawyer, which ensures that they are not deprived of their personal liberty unfairly. Article 22 also provides protections against preventive detention, but only under the specific guidelines to avoid the misuse. Authorities must produce an arrested person before a magistrate within 24 hours. Right against exploitation is covered under the Articles 23 and 24 of the Indian Constitution. Article 23 of the Indian Constitution addresses two major issues: human trafficking and forced labor. This article ensures the protection of individual freedom and dignity by prohibiting these exploitative practices. Human trafficking means the illegal trade or transport of people for exploitative purposes, including prostitution, forced labor, or illegal activities. Forced labor or bonded labor refers to any form of coerced or unpaid labor where individuals are made to work against their will, sometimes even under the threat of punishment. Article 23 declares both these practices as unconstitutional and punishable under the law. Article 24 ensures that no child below the age of 14 years can be employed in a factory, mine, or any other dangerous work environment. The primary objective of this article is to protect the children from the exploitation in hazardous work settings. Article 24 complements the Right to Education Act, supporting the rights of children by prohibiting the child labor. It remains a vital tool for protecting children and improving their life standards by allowing them access to the education and a healthy environment. Right to freedom of religion is covered under Articles 25 to 28 of the Indian Constitution. Article 25 of the Constitution ensures that every individual has the right to practice, profess, and propagate their religion freely. However, this right is not unlimited and it can be restricted by the state to maintain public order, morality, and health. The government can also make laws that regulate religious practices with a secular purpose or to promote social reforms. While this article protects the religious freedoms of the individuals, it also allows for restrictions if necessary for the greater good of society. Article 26 deals with the freedom to manage the religious affairs. It grants the religious denominations the right to establish and maintain the place of worship, manage their own affairs in the matter of religion, and collect and spend funds for the religious purposes. However, this right is also subject to the public order, morality, and health. Article 27 of the Constitution deals with the prohibition of taxes for promoting the religion. Article 27 ensures that individuals are not forced to pay taxes that are meant to promote or support any particular religion or religious activities. This article aims to maintain the principle of secularism by preventing the state from funding religious practices through taxes. It also protects the individuals from being financially burdened for those religious activities they may not support. Now, coming to Article 28. Article 28 ensures that students are not compelled to participate in religious activities at state funded schools. This article states that no religious instructions shall be provided in any educational institution that is fully funded by the government. However, this does not apply to private educational institutions, which are free to impart religious education if they choose to. This article ensures that government funded schools remain secular by not promoting any particular religion while allowing the private institutions the autonomy to include religious teachings if they wish to do so. Cultural and educational rights are covered under the Articles 29 and 30 of the Indian Constitution. Article 29 protects the rights of minorities to conserve their culture, language, and script. This article ensures that any section of citizens with a distinct language, script, or culture has the right to preserve and promote these aspects. This article prohibits the discrimination in admission to the educational institutions based on the individual's religion, race, caste, or language. It upholds the culture and educational rights of the minorities by ensuring that they can freely practice and develop their distinct identity without the state interference. And now, the Article 30. This article grants religious and linguistic minorities the right to establish and administer the educational institutions of their choice. This right ensures that minorities can set up schools, colleges, or other educational institutions to preserve and promote their culture and language. This article protects such institutions from being discriminated against by the state by allowing them to receive aid or funding without being forced to compromise on their religious or cultural practices. However, the state can regulate such institutions in the interest of maintaining of standards. Right to constitutional remedies is covered under the Article 32 of the Constitution of India. This article provides individuals with the right to move to the Supreme Court for the enforcement of fundamental rights. This article ensures the judicial protection of the fundamental rights, and it allows citizens to directly approach the Supreme Court if they believe that their fundamental rights have been violated. This article also empowers the court to issue writs like habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto to enforce these fundamental rights. This makes Article 32 a cornerstone for the protection of individual liberties in India. Article 32 is often referred to as the heart and soul of the Constitution because it guarantees citizens a way to seek justice. Right to property. Article 31 of the Indian Constitution originally protected the right to property, ensuring that no person could be deprived of it except through law and with fair compensation if the property was taken by the state. However, this article was repealed by the 44th Amendment in the year 1978, and the right to property was moved to Article 300A, which continues to protect the right to property as a constitutional right, but not as a fundamental right. In conclusion, the fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution are crucial for protecting the individual freedoms and for ensuring equality for all citizens. These rights guarantee justice, dignity, and personal liberties irrespective of caste or religion. The right to approach the judiciary, especially through Article 32, ensures these rights are upheld. The fundamental rights act as a safeguard against misuse of power. These fundamental rights form the foundation of India's democracy by balancing the individual rights with societal needs. Ultimately, the fundamental rights ensure freedom, justice, and equality for each and every citizen of our nation. Thank you for watching. I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video on fundamental rights. I hope this video has helped you understand the importance of these fundamental rights in protecting our freedom and equality. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more informative videos. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.